Hi everyone, let's check. Yes, I think we're live. Let me maximize this and check if everything is looking good. Yeah, audio is running. Okay guys, we're live. I cannot speak too loud, but let's do this live stream. It's been a while. I just started with reviewing Audi, doing car buyers reviews, and today we're going to show you what's all available on the Dutch market. And the Audi A8 is of course a very expensive car. It's the top of the line of Audi, so 30k is a small budget when you looking for a car like this. But it's kind of middle of the road. I think you should bring more than 50k, but then you get one of the newer ones. But for 30k, you can also get a very special one that's a bit older. So it really depends on what you're looking for. Personally, the first generation Audi A8 is for me the most beautiful one. But I have something with 90s cars. But let's see what's out there. So we're gonna go to Audi, select the model A8. We're not gonna fill in any model year or any price, or it needs to be diesel or petrol, but we're gonna find 191 examples on this website already. So let's just go to the cheapest one, and that's a 2000 Audi S8. An S8, okay, 440,000 kilometers driven, so lots of experience, and you're probably gonna buy yourself a big turd. But this is exactly the generation, the first one, that I liked a lot. It came onto the market, I think, in 97, 98-ish, and it was a big leap forward for Audi. But let's see how a 2000 Audi look like. Let's go over some of the images here. They claim it to be an S8. I didn't see any badges here. Yeah. Oh, it has an S8 steering wheel, and this is how it looked like in the late 90s, basically. Yeah, this car is really worn out, you can tell. Car phone, automatic gearbox, also not the best one. Yeah, guys, for you, not even 2,000 euros. Lots of experience. But this is the cheapest one in Holland currently, with a V6, which is probably entry level engine for the A8. Let's see, that gets over some specs. 2000, so 23 years old. It has a 2.7 six-cylinder engine producing 193 horsepower. Weight is not that heavy for such a big car, 1575 kilos, but this mainly has to do with the fact that it's a aluminium space frame, that's what they call it back then. And the advantage is lower weight, and also prone to not prone, the opposite of prone to rust. So they will not rust that easy. Only when you get into an accident and the chassis is worn out or something like that, it usually starts with damages and then it progresses. But these Audis are not known for rust. Let's move on. So this is really the bottom of the barrel. Here, this is luchtvering in Dutch, means the air suspension is defect. And it's also something that I told you guys, when the air suspension, it's very expensive to replace. I mean, you maybe spend another 3 to 4k fixing it, maybe less, but you also have to take into consideration that parts for these cars are getting more difficult to find now. 96. We need to go up. Look, this doesn't look good. This is not original, and why would you mess up a car with rims like that? Doesn't look good. Also a 3.7 5-valve quattro, so 4-wheel drive. Oh, with a V8. Let's see. Apart from the rims, which are Audi rims, It looks okay, but it has this trailer hitch. I'm not a big fan of that. Maybe it's been used to tow stuff, but then again, it's a powerful engine, shouldn't have that much impact. It's a car from 99, so even older, 24 years old. Yeah, say what you want. It's all outdated, but still it has class. But that's a personal opinion. The other one had a V6. This is a V8. Close to 400,000 kilometers driven. It's well documented, so that's a good thing. But looks a bit shady, the car. Let's go into the specs. So 5-speed auto, 3.7 5-valve quattro. Let's see what's the power figures on this. It is an 8-cylinder with 260 horsepower. The other one was 192.3, so this is 260 for the V8. All right. Non-turbo, naturally aspirated V8, old school. Let's go a bit further. See, this is already the second generation. Came on the market in 2002. 2002. Oh, this is sold. Let's go. 2005. The 4.2 V8. Still 5,000. Let's see if, yes, still running. This is a gas station where they just clean the car. Always funny to make pictures there and then put it on the internet. Still decent looking. 5K almost. But you have no idea what you're buying yourself here. If this is a quattro, this is dual tailpipe, so probably also maybe a V8. Back then it was still normal. How times have changed. Dual climate zone, so in the back you can have it set up to 25 degrees, and in the front you can set it as low as 16 degrees if you want, no problem. ESP, let's see, of course an automatic. There were no manuals. I think maybe the first generation, not really sure. Also not sure why you want a manual in cars like this. I mean, an Audi is luxury. It's comfortable. Steering is always a bit vague. That's a big critique when it comes to Audi. Yeah, early 2000s Audis. But look, it's been used. It's been sit in often, long time. V8 4.2. Also not sure if these are the best engines. They're all naturally aspirated. They didn't put any turbos on it back then. So the more displacement you had, the more power it's generated. Here you have some repair bills from April of, almost 2 years ago. Maybe it's been, so almost 1,300 euros for repairs. Yeah. It's good that it's well documented. But they're all quite pricey. But of course it's a pricey car. Here, close to 900. It's good that it's well documented. That's always a big plus on these cars. But driving a car like this ain't cheap. So way over 300 horsepower from the 4.2 8-cylinder 2005. It's a complete different time, guys. Completely different. There are many kilometers on it, but it's still got some life left in it, I would say. Is it a good car to buy? No, you should really spend double, triple. You should look at the 20K range. These cars, as soon as something goes, it's totaled. 5K might not be a lot. You get a whole lot of money, a whole lot of car in return, definitely. but repairs on these cars can potentially be expensive, and fuel economy on the 4.2 V8, I mean, if you every 6 kilometers, 7 kilometers, a liter of fuel, maybe, I don't know, it's gonna cost you. But hey, if you don't drive that much, but it's a big car. Also in parking spaces here in Holland, it's not friendly, not friendly at all. And if you use it on the autobahn and you really access all the power it has, I mean, every 3 kilometers you will lose a liter of fuel or something. That's really not from this time no more, and it's not funny with those gas prices. So let's see, 8K, 2003, 20 years old. These cars are now getting older. Still looking quite okay. So here he's spending a bit more. Let's see if this works. No, it doesn't. Typical Audi from that era. And 20 years ago, this was a spaceship. This was like unbelievable, and this had this MMI, the Audi infotainment system, navigation, telephone, everything. Yeah, 20 years ago, guys. You had everything that you needed. Where's a supermarket? Where's a gas station? Where's a restaurant? Where's a golf course? You know, things like that. 20 years ago, this looked like a spaceship. The more buttons a car had, the better. You even had a engine start, stop. Okay, now it's the same button. Funny. Okay. Yeah, it's worn out, of course. Car could do with a good cleanup as well. Bose speaker system. These are the same keys that I got on my Volkswagen Polo. My God, that's a little bit on the cheap side. I mean, when you have the top of the line of the VAG back then, the Volkswagen Audi group, you at least expect another key. But they spend money where money has to be spent. But it's all about the perception as well. Well, it's well documented, I guess. That's very important with a car like that. It's been serviced at the Volkswagen Audi dealer as well, which is a big plus in my book as well, because they know the engine, they know the weak spots, they know what to look out for, so that's a big plus. You can also see how much it's been driven in a year. Here's just, I think this is 1 year, this is the other year, I'm not really sure, but that means like here's like close to 16k and here's close to 30k, so that's not a lot for in 1 year. But you can kind of tell what kind of life it had. Okay, let me see if we can go back. Or we can we get out of here? Let's see which one it was. This one. Yes. Let's just do a general check of this car. So 8K, the 4.2 automatic, 230k driven, which is not a lot for these V8s. Still got some life in it, but it's a 20-year-old car. It's a big V8. They went from a 5-speed auto to a 6-speed auto, probably to reduce the, it's just kind of an overdrive for the highway. Euro 4, 90 liters of fuel tank, way over 300 horsepower, non-turbo. You buy a lot of car for the money. Let's be honest. You buy a lot of car, but all the technology that is on this car, it's all outdated now. It's all outdated. I mean, with an average smartphone nowadays, you can get way more stuff done. But I'm sure it's a pleasant car to drive around the whole day in. Great seats, probably a very torquey engine, but you're gonna pay a lot of money for gas at the fuel pump. obviously. This is an S8 from 2001. So I think one of the last model years or years that this car was built. This is my thing. Let's see. So a little bit more than 8K. Got the period corrected rims here. S8 badges. This is Audi the way I like it. If you take that badge off, you don't know it's a S8. Maybe because of those rims. I think those special for the S8. But this was dignified. You can tell by the gauges here. The leather was not preserved very well, but what do you expect for a price like this? Let's see. Yeah, just probably MP3 radio cassette player. I think a 5-speed auto box. 181,000 kilometers. But these can be very hard kilometers, if you know what I mean. So the V8 4.2, 5 valve. Let's continue. Not bad, not bad at all. Producing 360 horsepower, so it's fast, but when you drive more modern cars and more modern S8, I mean they go towards 500 horsepower and above. And I think these engines are, you can tweak them, maybe you can give them a software update or something, and maybe you reach close to 400 horsepower. But for 2001, this was spectacular. The car is also in Ronin, and Ronin came out in 98. It's also one of the greatest movies when it comes to car chases. The S8 is in there as well. This is my most favorite A8, this generation S8. You can tell its age. It's a product of the late 90s, but it has class. It's not as shouty as Audi is nowadays. But let's move on. A W12, 6-liter W12, 2004, and it's been sold. It's sold. Let's see. No idea what they ask for this, but this is the W12 engine, 450 horsepower, quattro, and the Pro line is top of the line when it comes to Audi. You can see this is the long wheel model. Leather, all the lights, some infotainment system in the head seats. This is files on the vehicle itself. Hopefully they also got bills and stuff. W12, but it's already been sold. Who buys something like this nowadays? I mean, I get it. This is top of the line. The long wheelbase, you barely see them in Holland. This is something for the US or China. Countries like that where they like a car like this. Long wheelbase. It's like an airplane on wheels, basically. So they went from the 4.2 V8 to almost a 6-liter 12-cylinder, only producing 450 horsepower. That's not a lot. But that also means that the engine don't need to work that hard. Let's continue. Another S8. 99, 3.7. Let's see if we find something real special. 2005, yeah, the FSI engine for the A8. Okay, could be. Here, FSI again. 6-liter. This is a W12 as well. Now we're hitting the 10K mark, which is only 1/3 of the budget that I set for this video. But let's see. 10K. APK is basically an MOT. What they call MOT in the UK is APK in Holland, and that's like the periodical check of your car if it's still road legal, basically. and it was just recently extended with another year. So you could enjoy this car for at least a year before you have to worry again. But for 10K, there should be a decent car, and it looks decent from the outside. Curious about the inside. Oh, it is a W12. Nice. Hey, not bad. 10K, guys. You're buying this. The W12 is always the long wheelbase model. The W12 is the long wheelbase model for CEOs, captains of industry, and the S8 is more geared towards the driver. So those are the two top spec models within the AA lineup, the A8 lineup. I have to get used to this live streaming again, but I hope you guys follow me. I already covered the A8 and the Audi TT as well, and maybe next video live stream I will do the A6. We have the A4 to go, the A5. A lot of things are similar when it comes to engines, gearboxes, but this is definitely, these are two V6s. This is a V6, this is a V6, and the W12, I mean, times like this and engineering like this will never return no more. There was just something about the early 2000s, mid 2000s, where engineers just went wild and crazy and wanted to outdo their direct competitors with technological innovations. But you will not. This is not from this time no more. I always used to joke with my brother, just before the financial crisis hit in 2008, cars like these were being sold. It was like the sky is the limit, and you saw it in the cars, and you saw it in the movies, and you saw it everywhere. This is really a reminder of a different time. And it's not that long time ago, but still, they don't make them like this no more. W12 is not necessarily unreliable or super reliable. I mean, when something goes wrong, ka-ching, but it's an innovation that probably will not come back no more. They had the W12 and they also had the V12, the 6-liter V12 TDI. Also, like, you buy a diesel in order to save money, right? Because you drive a lot, but what's the point of a V12 diesel? But they made it. They made it back then, and they even sold it. Nowadays we don't do that no more. We think differently. Moving on. So this is the S8 from the second generation, 2007, 12.5K, close to 300,000 kilometers driven. But these cars are, man, beautiful, yes. But when something goes wrong, it's easy to spend a couple of thousand on repairs. I'm not saying that you have to do that on a weekly basis, but you have to take that in consideration when you buy such a car. I mean, you're driving top of the line. Of course, even it's an old car by today's standard, but it's fun because those times will never return no more. They will never have a 5.2 V8, or this is even the V10 model, I think, that they put in the Lamborghini. Yeah, and they have like a tuned down version. They put it in the S8, but this is still very fast. I like this car in white. It looks nice. White outside with the black interior. Nice stereo system. Look at this. I think it's a beauty. I think it's a beauty. And also for that time, I mean, this car came on the market maybe 2002, 2003. The S8 is always 1 or 2 years after the introduction of the new A8. They always start with a couple of diesels and a couple of petrols, and then you get the most expensive versions, the S8 and the W12. But I think 2007, I think this is a 2005 car when it was introduced, a couple of years after the introduction of the second generation A8 at least. Auto Plaza. Yeah, what are you buying? It looks nice. Yeah, it has the V10. It has the 5.2 liter V10 engine, producing only 450 horsepower, which is not that much actually. But maybe we're spoiled nowadays. Hmm. I like this car in white actually. You usually see them either in black or silver, not that often in white, but it fits. It fits, yeah. The air suspension, lift comfort, automatic, dynamic mode, quattro, which is the four-wheel drive. This is a car to blast down the highway to the south and burn a lot of fuel while you're doing it. But yeah, nice. Let's go into a little bit more details about this car. So a 2007 S8, 6-speed auto. It was imported. And when was it imported? 2 years after it. So it was in July of 2007. It was bought, and 2 years later it was imported to Holland. So you don't know what happened the first 2 years basically, because you start clean. Yeah, not exactly. You still need to, when you import it, they need to check the car, the registration, and they need to check it if it's road legal for the Netherlands. They write down the kilometers, but there's not any direct communication between the government agencies that is it the government agency? It's an office that we have here in Holland that reports every time we have the yearly evaluation inspection of the car. They write down the kilometers and they put it in a system. So there's still ways to cheat with that. You know, you never know, and it's easier to do that with an import car than with an original Dutch car, if that makes any sense. Now, because even though it's the European Union, between countries there are different systems and different agencies, and you know how it goes with the government. They don't always communicate correctly, so um, things might get lost in translation or something. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically it. 451 horsepower, 10 cylinder, non-turbo. Only recently Audi is doing more with turbos, but Audi was always the brand of naturally aspirated powerhouses. So let's see, what else can we do? Let's go a little bit further. What is this? Also a long wheelbase. Another W12. 2005. 130,000 kilometers driven. Is this a S8? I'm not sure. Let's check real quick. V8. S8, S6, S5. What is this? But look, guys, it beautiful car still to this day. I'm more of a Mercedes guy. I can appreciate the 7 Series from BMW. I can also appreciate the Audi, but this design, when it just came with the single frame grille, this is really, if you talk about cars and you talk about the year 2005, for instance, this is what 2005 to me looks like. And back then Audi had elegance and it became a bit more aggressive, but hey, when you spend so much money you also want to be noticed, but it was not as shouty as a 7 Series or maybe even an S-Class, but you definitely got noticed. Beautiful rims. It's a beautiful looking car here, this one. Also looking nice from the inside. Hankook tires on it. Interior looks spotless. This is all aftermarket, I can tell. Back then they already had this cameras on it, which was only for the cars like the A8 and the 7 Series and the S Class. Now you can find this on a Kia, you know. This is 2005. Return neutral drive, and this is sport, and this is Tiptronic, I guess they call it, so you can manually shift. Yeah, this is all aftermarket. Maybe there's a completely different system behind it. It used to be Audi's MMI, and now it's looks like some kind of Android box, or what is it? No, this is iOS. Not sure what that is. Apple CarPlay or something like that. But it looks all right. I'm not sure if a car like this will become a classic. So maybe have some people who say I want a time period corrected car, but infotainment systems and navigation systems and things like that, they get outdated so quickly. You could even keep it original and just use your smartphone, right? Here, MMI, Audi's A8 infotainment MMI. Back then they had the Polo key still, but at least they bothered to put the Audi logo on it. Yeah, it's not that important. Some bills over here. It got way heavier. You see the first generation 1545 kilos, what I remember, 1909 kilograms, so it got heavier, but what do you expect? You have this 8-cylinder in the front. Now we go a little bit further. Let's see if we can find something special. Is this a S8? Let's just check. Let's check real quick. Is this a S8? Could be. Is it? The 6-cylinder. It's not an S8. Here, 20k for an S8 this generation. Come on, guys. Gotta love it. 20k. It's a lot of money, but you got a whole other car. Trust me. You just have to. Let's say, for instance, that you drive once a month, once every 2 months. You have to sit in the car a whole day and cover 1,000 kilometers. And you can afford this, then you can still enjoy this car for many years, because I'm sure it's the ultimate car to drive from roam around the continent basically. This is not correct. They shouldn't do that. This is something of the recent times. They didn't put Quattro here when this car came out. I don't know why would you do that. I would almost take the badges off, but anyway. I don't think those tailpipes are also period corrected. I don't know. Maybe not. It looks a bit shouty. This is correct. The V10 badge. This is blacked out, so usually it's the same one as this one with the chrome look, but this is blacked out. Yeah, the leather. This done more kilometers than they say, I'm sure. I think it's A130, but let me go back to that soon. But it is an S8 though. 20k, the carbon fiber look here. Let's see. Not bad, but 220. And it's an import car. Man. Looks nice, but you shouldn't buy this car with if you have 20k and that's only thing you have, and then you buy this, something goes broken, and again you need gas money as well. It's gonna go fast with a 5.2 V8. Come on, guys, it will sound great, even though it's tuned down a bit. It's the same kind of engine as what's in the Lamborghini Gallardo, I believe, but it's not the same. Moving on. I think you got a good idea what's for sale here. 2010, we're getting somewhere. Let me go and do this. Max of 30k. And then we go to the most expensive one and see what 30k buys you. All right, we go 2011. So this is also W12 a 6.3. I thought it's 6 liter only, but okay. Proline, full option. Let's see. 177,000 kilometers driven. Period corrected rims on it. W12 badge. 2011. Still looks very respectable. The Quattro, long wheelbase. Nah, the interior looks impeccable. So I think my guess of the budget of 30k was correct. Let's see. Yeah, it's all way more updated. Still have a phone in there to make those sneaky private telephone calls. It's all of this is way more updated. Bigger screens in there. This looks like a private airplane on wheels, doesn't it? Leather still looks very nice. Finally, they upgrade the car keys. You know where it's located in Holland, so do with that information what you want. I'm not saying anything. 500 horsepower. You see, 6.3, 12 cylinder, 2011. I think that may be the biggest displacement engine that Audi ever produced. I think after that it slowly go down. We have this green trend of small displacement, less cylinders, turbocharged engines. A 6.3 12 cylinder, 500 horsepower, and it's an 8-speed auto. So they went from 5 to 6 to probably 7, 8, but I think this is maybe Audi at its peak. You know, this was the best you could buy in the early 2010s when it comes to Audi. And I think it withstood the test of time quite well. So that's what 30k buys you. Let's move on a bit. TDI, still for diesel. Okay, but it's 2016. Didn't drive a lot yet. The 3-liter TDI diesel is quite reliable. Yeah, 30k, it's a lot of money for a car. But when you, for instance, own a successful business, you can buy it and put it basically on the balance of your company, and then you don't pay that much tax. And if you need to drive quite a lot of miles, I mean, you can do this in a TDI. TDI diesels are quite reliable, quite good, have a long track record, long service record. Also the long wheelbase. Yeah, 2016, all got a big upgrade. And this is maybe the previous generation A8. Yeah, I think this is the last generation A8 for 30k. With a diesel, which is frowned upon here in Holland and slowly in Europe. But hey, if you do lots of kilometers, then there's no other way to do it than a diesel. Still, to this day. Picture from last days of last year, so it's already standing there for a while. But who buys a car like this? Only when you're a business owner and tomorrow you need to go to Germany somewhere, and next week you need to go to Switzerland and things like that, then you should buy a car like this. But it's the long wheel base version, so we still show you a couple of cars before we close off, because I think you have a good idea now what's all out there. 2015. You see how Audi progressed over the years. I mean, this is a bit more shouty than the first generation, definitely. But all the materials used, it's a great place to be. Nice seats, nice, great infotainment system. Yeah, I mean, you will eat up the miles in a car like this. Just there's no other way. And when it does have quattro on top of that, then even in very wet conditions or snowy, icy conditions, you're gonna be good. Good. Look at this Lamborghini. The Euros, it's called. Maybe one day we cover that as well. Some supercars on this channel. Please let me know if you do want to see that as well. To see the prices of supercars here in the Netherlands. We can make a quick live stream about that. What I can find, so you have an indication of the prices here. They're probably more expensive than wherever you're watching from right now. But if you're interested in that, please let me know. Another W12. Let's see. Anything special? Anything that catches my eye? Another S8 21 from 2006, 200,000 kilometers driven. Yeah, let me just close off with this one. Another S8, 20k. So then we have kind of like, you saw 10k, you saw 30, now you see 20. But let me just tell you like this, it need to be well documented. You need to be able to see how many kilometers have been driven each year. You want to be able to see the repair bills on a yearly basis or 2 yearly basis if they drive a lot. Every service interval need to be documented. With a car like this, you want good documentation. And even that doesn't mean that you will not run into unexpected costs. Cars like these are expensive. I mean, they're the top of the line. I don't know exactly how expensive it is, but let me take a. Should I take a guess? No, I shouldn't take a guess. I will do this. Let me just do this. I go here and no, that's not what I want. Autowake.nl. Yes, now. Okay, now what is this? L057. And then GL. Search. So the 2008, 2006 S8. All right. BPM. Car base. I thought you can see the price. What was? Let me see. Waarde-indicatie, okay. Okay, this is also an import, so they don't show that. Okay. Too bad. What I want to say, those cars are 150k, maybe 180k when you buy them. Now you buy them for 20k. 2006 is a long time ago, granted. The S8 probably has a lot of depreciation because lots of people don't dare to buy a car like this. And there's a good reason for that. Repairs, fuel costs, insurance, road tax. It's a heavy car. You can't park a car like this in every neighborhood that you want. It's difficult to get in and out of car parks. So there's a lot of drawbacks of buying a car like this, which does something with the price. Good documentation, and please keep some extra cash at hand when you drive a car like this. That being said, 21k for a car like this, which looks obviously taken well care of, it's a bargain. It's a bargain, basically. I think it's still beautiful to this day. And when you're really an Audi fanatic, they will not put a 5.2 V8 in the nose of any luxury car no more. Those days are over. So you're buying, when you really a petrol head, this is the peak of Audi, which will never come back. They can make beautiful electric cars in the future that maybe outshine their competitors, but what I'm trying to get at, this age will never return no more. This, in German they say, das war einmal. Those days are gone. Gone. $20K. You get an itchy feeling that you want to be able to drive a car like this for 1 or 2 or 3 years, but I think even then it depreciates. I would love to have a test drive with this. Really, just to feel it and to hear the engine and to hear the sound and sit in those seats, hit the highway, drive to Germany, blast down the highway for 1 or 2 hours and then return back home. Stuff like that. Yeah. Looks not bad for 20k. And you're buying the top of the line Audi. Here. A V10. But don't expect it to be great in the corners. It's a very heavy engine. It's nose heavy. So yeah. This is for blasting down the highway. Very fast, in great comfort. A 2006. 1915 kilos, almost 2 tons, 450 horsepower. I'm sure a whole lot of torque. Let me see if I can get that information. I think I need to go up. Do I get more info? No. More information. Here we got it. I'm glad. Starting price 150k. So my indication was good. This is a starting price, but it's for the A8. So the S8 is the top of the line. Let's just add at least another 50. So yeah. So you buy a car like this now for, let's say 200,000. You buy it now for 20, 21, 10% of its original purchasing price. And this car, oh, it is the S8. It was produced between June of 2006 and November of 2007. It's always quite limited and a short amount of time because not a lot of people will buy a car like this. They will buy the 3-liter TDI or the 4.2-liter TDI if you do lots of miles. So 5.1 seconds, 0 to 100 or 0 to 60 miles an hour. This is all the options it has. The taxes on the car are ridiculous. Yeah. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Next time we can do the A6 and also the A4, but also think about if you want to know what supercars cost here in the Netherlands. We can do a separate live stream on that. as you know from this channel, in the future there's going to be lots more of Audi buying reviews, and the next one is going to be an A6, I believe, in March. So keep your eye on this channel. Please subscribe if you want to, if you find it interesting, and wish you guys all a great Sunday. Thanks for watching.